This is Shema Ladd, your personal development and premarital life coach. Sorry, I'm flipping my hair. Fixing it. Welcome back. Okay, so today we're picking back up with father-daughter relationships. And today, let's talk about the different relationships with the different children. Like I said, I have, my dad had two daughters. So there's me, and then there's my younger sister. We're 5 years apart. Okay, so one common misconception is that parents have that all the kids were raised in the same household, we taught you the same, we provided for you the same, we guided you the same. Some may even say we loved you the same. But does that mean that everything is the same for each child? And I know because you're intelligent, you know the answer is no, right? So I just want to give you a little bit of an example. So this could be an issue that, whether it's sons or daughters, I know it's a big issue for sons. Men don't like being compared to anyone, period. And that's another teaching, understanding the core of a man. But we're not on that this series. But for daughters, it's not necessarily that we don't like being compared to each other, because we're girly and we're like, oh, my sister, we twins, we just alike, we wear the same makeup, women are different. We're a little different. But fathers, I just want you to be aware that each daughter will have different needs, even if they're twins, fraternal twins, identical twins, they're still gonna have different needs from you. They're still gonna, now men, dads, uncles, brothers, cousins, grandpas, listen here, okay? You know, us ladies, we need something from you. Whether it's the wife, whether it's the mom, whether it's the daughter, granddaughter, niece, we need something from the man because we value you and you're the provider. And let's be honest, this is a man's world. Okay? But for daughters, we need your approval. We need your attention. Attention meaning pay enough attention to us that when we come to you with questions, you know what to say and you can guide us. There's this movie I really, really like. It's called Guess Who? With old Bernie and Mac. Ashton Kutcher's in it. Zoe, I love her. She's the one who played on Columbiana too, and some other good actors and actresses too. But the movie's called Guess Who? And she gets in this relationship. She's a African-American young lady, and she gets involved with Ashton Kutcher, who's a Caucasian guy. And Bernie Mac, he has that, if you're African-American, Bernie Mac held it down. He's like, no, we ain't rolling like that. And it goes both ways, but this was a comical type of racism in a sense. And so Ashton Kutcher was a wonderful guy. He had this prestigious job in finances, J.P. Morgan, and living in New York, so you have to make good money to even afford to be there. And he paid for everything. He treated her, opened doors, he helped her, he was loving to her, funny. But Bernie wasn't moving. He wasn't moving. He ain't no good. I don't like him. But all his daughter needed him to say was, Daddy, tell me. And Bernie says, well, would it make that much of a difference if I said I liked him? And she said, yes, Daddy. It would mean the world to me. It would mean everything. It would make the difference. It would say to me that it's okay. It's okay to be with him. It's okay to step out and try this. It's okay. And daddies are looking like, the hell wrong with her? Why is she all emotional? Why is she crying? I said no, get rid of them and find somebody else. Daughters need to hear what you say. Mama can say something. We love mama. You love mama. But daddy, it's your words. Not uncle, not grandpa, not brother, not cousin. I need to hear daddy say it. Why do I need to hear daddy say it? Why do we need to hear daddy say it? Ladies, if you're on here watching this video, type in your answer. Why do you need to hear daddy say it? Why does daddy's opinion and approval mean so much to us, to you? Type that down so the men can see it. So they know it's not just me who loved my father and it's not all about my experience with my father. But let the fellas know. Let the daddies know. For me, it's important because when you grow up, your parents tell you the right things to do. And what do children do? They look to see a smile on their parents' face. Is daddy smiling? Is mama smiling? Yeah, I did good. We're all happy. Daddy's happy. Mommy said, we're all happy. I did good. I made them happy. I'm good. Oh, is daddy frowning? Is mama frowning? Oh, I'm in trouble. Oh, I did something wrong. I'm going to get it. Daddy taught me how to ride my bike. Daddy fed me my first lick of ice cream. Daddy, those memories I remember of daddy happy, daddy smiling, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I'm meeting my developmental marks. I'm meeting my developmental marks. I walked when I was supposed to start walking around 10 to 12 months. 10 to 14 months for some. I could swallow and hold my food down. When he held me and picked me up, when I wouldn't stop crying all night, I stopped crying. Daddy was happy. When I was riding my bike, he finally got to take out that wrench and take off those training wheels off of my tire. Because daddy decided it was time. I'm ready to ride my bike without the training wheels now. Doing a ceremony at school. Oh, what did you do? Did you play in the band? Were you in the choir? Were you in theater and drama? Maybe you were in basketball. Were you in sports? Were you in track? What were you doing? And daddy was still there, saying, "Ooh, you got it, chick. You're doing it." Were you finally able to saddle up that horse all by yourself and daddy didn't have to put his muscle behind it? And he said, yeah, she's strong now. She's strong. She can do it. Did you get that corporate job or start that business? And daddy was like, yeah, you got it. Now this is how you manage your finances. Now this is how you hire your staff. Now this is how you save on this. Was daddy smiling? Why is it important for daughters to hear what daddy has to say? Mama mad at daddy, cussing him out. Upside down there, mama slamming doors. Mama done called daddy this and called daddy that. Mama done. And she telling you, don't talk to that. What did your baby mama say to your kids about you? Because I'm going to override it right now. he ain't this, he ain't that, he did me this way, he did me that way. Of course daughters feel, we never want to see daddy do mama wrong. We never want to see mama do daddy wrong. We don't. But when it comes down to somebody talking about their daddy always been there. Can't nothing change that or wash that away. Ladies, am I right? Now, I'm gonna include this in the conversation a little bit. And that isn't because all dads on here are like that, but it must be said. Because I'm personal development and I deal with such an array of people, because I came from abuse and neglect, it must be said. So, some dads, on the last video, I went over what type of father are you? Some dads are pedophiles. Some dads are not good dads. Some dads have done wrong and they want to know, how do I get my relationship back with my daughter? Now, I'm not going to go into the twisted aspects of how a person with that type of mindset or behavior can't understand why their child or daughter or son does not want to have anything to do with them after being abused or neglected or exploited. But I will say, for the most part, those children even still have love for their father. They still do. That's a whole nother teaching, a whole nother coaching on healing and seeing the truth and stepping out of unhealthy boundaries and healthy boundaries. That's a whole nother teaching. But I am including that in this. So if you are one of those fathers who have molested, touched it, incest someone in your family, and you have changed, if you have changed, you'll get something out of these videos as well. If you have not changed, I encourage you to get help. There are hotlines available. If you have insurance, call the number on the back of your card. They have free nursing and therapists that you can actually speak with, that is covered for free on the back of your health insurance card. You can speak to someone, tell them that you need to speak with someone about sexual addictions, and start there. And they won't judge you, because that's what they're there for. They're to help people that are dealing with those type of issues. So start there. And then, after you get a certain amount of healing, then you can begin working on your relationship with your daughter, with your sons, or whoever you have betrayed and perpetrated. So even then, understanding what kind of father you are. Here at Help Me Out is judgment-free. I'm not judging. But again, I speak on these things because of the background I've come from. I was also a phone sex girl in the 90s. And so I am very much aware of the sexual fetishes, the different perversions, things that go on with men, and the things that happen. And you can see that watching the Diddy scandal, the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, the things they do with models, actors, performers, musical artists. You can see these things. It's open. It's out in the open. The only thing that's not in the open is a helpline for these type of people to get help without judgment, to get professional help without judgment before they create the act. So if anybody wants to take that and ride with it and open something and start something, feel free. And you can always reach out to me on my website, futuremepro.com. Go to the contact list, shoot me an email on helpingcommunitieslive@gmail.com. Or you can comment here on YouTube, and I'll respond back. So anyhow, yes, there are different kinds of dads. Children still love their dads. It's something about the sound of your voice. It's something about your presence. Maybe it's because we came from you. You were first. Then the Lord took the woman from you. And once you sleep with a woman and you plant another seed in her, another you comes out. Another you. And another you. And another you. So we're strongly connected to you men. Even though the world may not treat you as such, even though the world might step on you, discredit you, try to paint a picture of you that is not true. I mean, we've watched over the past few decades them try to demasculate our men, pump you up with estrogen, make you wear pink and dress like a woman. I have watched it, but please know here, Shema Ladd is fully heterosexual. I love men. I'm only attracted to men. I value the quality and everything that you bring to the table and bring to this earth and bring to this world. So keep your head strong. Please stay on testosterone. And, know that the women are here. Heterosexual women are here. And we do truly value the men. The last thing I want to do is feminize a man or make myself appear like I'm more of a man than a man. Or make it appear that because I'm so self-efficient that I don't need you, that we don't need a man. That is a lie, and it is totally incorrect. A lot of women are strong. Yes, I am strong. My father did have a dream. He accomplished his dream. I am a strong woman. But instead of saying I'm a strong woman, I much rather choose to say I am a resilient woman. Big difference. I am a resilient woman. So the difference with the daughters, back to that. I told you before, I felt my father's face from the moment I was born. His face was always right here, on the right side of my face. I was his firstborn, the love child of Cynthia Price and Leonard Ladd. Okay, I'm that love child. Well, parents went through some things. Domestic violence kicked off. Like I said, my dad wasn't always a firefighter before then. He did work at City Hall doing some things, but his side job was pimping, baby, in the 70s. Pimping and hoes, pimps and hoes. Pimps and hoes. Wish I had my pimp hat on. That's my Cat Williams voice, you know what I'm saying? My Don Bishop Don Juan voice, you know what I'm saying? The Eddie Griffin voice. So, pimping and hoes. So, when my sister came, my father did not believe that she was his child. So, she didn't feel this from the moment she was born. She didn't get to measure when he was coming or how long he had been gone. Our experiences were so different as day and night. Now, Daddy loved my sister. He didn't treat her like an outcast or like a stepchild per se. They went on bike rides together. He bought her McDonald's, Happy Meals, and did all that stuff. She went on the ski trips we took, and she was on the ski trips, and we'd have all these vacations. We do houseboats on Lake Mead. We'd always, every year, Mom, Dad, me and my sister, we'd go take the boat out, and it'd just be dozens of houseboats and parties popping off on all these houseboats. And maybe me and my sister shouldn't have been there, but there were kids there too. But she didn't get the same care and the same attention. And so her relationship, though we had the same father with the same qualities, our experiences were the same on a lot of things. Meaning, the baggage we carried was the same. From seeing mama be treated some way, from seeing how daddy was with the finances when it came to mama, to seeing a lot of different things. You know, our baggage we carried was the same. The questions as we got older, even though me and my sister didn't talk a lot about our issues, the things that hung us up in life, when it came to career, when it came to raising children, when it came to selecting the men we were going to be with, when it came to how we handled emotional stressors, different things like that. All of those things, Daddy, Grandpa, Papa, I'm talking to you. Okay? It plays a part in all of that. So, as my sister, I watched my sister fight for my father's love all her life. My sister is now 44, and she fought for his love till he died. Trying to verbalize to him, Daddy, why did you raise us this way? Daddy, why did you not teach me this? Daddy, why didn't you tell me this? Daddy. And it's hard to listen to the kids or my sister or, talk to my father a certain way, because what you're really looking at and what you're really thinking, and I'm the oldest child. The oldest child's perspective is going to be different from the rest of the children. Let's be clear. Okay. So I'm looking at her, me knowing that, and I had to deal with it. Well, Daddy don't treat you like that. Well, Daddy doesn't treat your kids like that. He treats me and my kids. Well, Daddy. I remember this. I remember Mom and Daddy dancing in the living room. I remember a fuller perspective of the picture, where my sister may not have seen much of that. She came in on a different end, so she saw a little bit more of the abuse, the shame, the embarrassment, a little bit more of other things. And at that point, as the oldest child, what does the oldest sister do? You watch out for the younger ones, or you try with what you're given. What were you giving your children, Daddy? Because you could be thinking, I'm giving love. I'm teaching her how to be this, how to be that. Because my daughter, I have a dream. I have a dream. But in that dream, it didn't include your daughter or your son remembering this little bad piece about you. It didn't include that little bad piece messing up your dream and your vision for your daughter or your child. That wasn't supposed to include A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So some of this conversation through these videos, Dad, it may be uncomfortable because you're going to recollect on things that you've said, things that you've done, things that maybe your daughter has brought to your attention, that maybe you decided you didn't want to discuss that. Why? Because I'm grown and I don't owe you no apology or no explanation. You turned out fine. Now, isn't that a dad's response? I provided. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. But I have something that's keeping me stuck. And I've tried everything I can. But now I need you to talk to me. I need you to listen to me. Help me. Just take a little bit off on your end, just for a little while, Daddy. Help me. Because I have a business I want to start and open. I have this guy that I met that I want to deal with, and he has kids. Daddy, I want to do this, but I can't get past this. And I'm going to need your help. I just need your help, Daddy. And Daddy, when you step outside just a little bit to deal with those emotions and to deal with some of that stuff, the rewards you get back are so rewarding. So rewarding. I promise you. Daughters have a love for their fathers that's almost inexplainable. But my sister didn't have the same experience. She had to literally let go and get past some things. And some of it, I believe, is because my father didn't go to therapy. He didn't get coaching. He didn't, what man do you know is finna go sit down? Not saying you're going to lay on the couch, but it's going to sit down and listen to somebody else help them work through this. Because a man, like I said, it's a man's world. I'm going to make my decisions. I'm going to make my calls, and I'm going to stand on it. And this is the direction we're going, and this is what we're doing. But there's nothing wrong with getting therapy or counseling, dads. There isn't. There isn't. Your family would be better for it. Because a lot of dads, you pass away, you leave. And you leave your daughters or your loved ones with that baggage. Because they never got to talk to you about it. You refuse to. You go on, they're carrying that. That is going to pour into their relationships, their careers, their finances, your legacy. Your legacy. Your legacy. Because what you work for, you build up all this real estate, this property, these finances to leave and bless your children, your grandchildren. Everyone that doesn't believe in generational wealth, but you should. You really should. Because when you don't pass something on, you're making everybody start from the beginning. And your bloodline gets nowhere. Because everyone's stumbling over the same stuff. But if you give them a platform to bounce off of, maybe your family bloodline can get to the next level. If you train and teach and raise your children right, how to use the finances, how to invest, when to sell, when to buy, what's an asset, what's not, what's a liability. How are you raising your family to manage that business? Are you teaching them how to sustain the business so that it will be here on this earth for as long as we're here? And your name will ring in the community. Is it a grocery store? Is it a boys and girls club of some sort? A halfway house? What is it? That your family's name will ring in the community because you've been there for so long. And you've taught your children. And you've passed on the generational wealth, the generational wisdom, the generational teachings to make an impact. My sister didn't feel the love. And my father's gone now. And I'm assuming that she's okay with a lot of stuff, but a lot I know she'll never be okay with. Me, I got lucky because I'm naturally inclined to monitor and dissect and research human behavior. Mental health, mental diseases, behaviors, spirituality. So as a personal developer, I've spent my whole entire life personally developing myself, the way I think, the way I see things, my thought processes, my decision-making processes, my grieving processes, my forgiveness processes, the reality of what's true, what sustains here on this earth, what is not valuable, what will not sustain. So it was easier for me to let go of some things with my father. So daddies, grandfathers, talk with your daughters, your granddaughters. Pour into them, teach them. Teach them what you want them to know about finances, how to sustain, how to grow, how to save. Teach them how to be a woman of whatever your dream was for your children and for your legacy. Even if the child is living with the mother and in the household with a whole nother family, your daughter will value what you say more than anything else she's ever heard. Do you hear me? Do you hear me, daddy, granddaddy, bro, cuz? Your daughters will value what you say more than anybody else. It don't matter if they living in a den of haters, if everybody hates you. She's going to remember what you said. She's going to remember it with her heart, not just with her head. She remembers it with her heart because she wants to be connected to her daddy. That's her strength. You know why I stand strong? You know why it's hard for people to pull a wool over my eyes? My daddy used to always tell me, don't get put in a trick bag. Don't let nobody put you in no trick bag. Use your brain. Think. My daddy ain't had no problem calling you a dummy. That's dumb. Dummy. Don't act stupid. Stupid. Even on his deathbed, I'm a nurse. And I lived in the hospital for 11 days with my daddy, nursing him. Because the other nurses, they was on work, you know what you do when you get to work. You halfway do your job because you don't want to be there anyway. And you got some other stuff I nursed my father. And even when I was trying to do something because his mask came off, his oxygen started dropping, and I'm trying to get it, and his eyes popped up. He said, "Don't be stupid, Shema." So I never left my daddy, but I know what he's saying to me. You know, why I'm so strong, why I refuse to bend, why I refuse to fold, why I stand on what's true and transparent, why I can stand authentically and not have to fake in front like I'm somebody I'm not. My daddy. I watched my daddy be a man. I watched him stand strong under adversity. I watched him stand strong against his haters, people who was trying to sabotage his money, his grind. Even wife number 3. I watched a whole lot. So daddies, please understand. Daughters are something very, very special. And one of my father's friends, another firefighter, Tommy Grayson, R.I.P., shout out Tommy Grayson. He was like a big brother to me and my sister. And there's certain things that took place that he would have never stood for. He would have never stood for. But Tommy Grayson, and I came in the house one day and he looks at me, he said, "Shema, you know, I just got to let you know, daddies love their daughters so much. There ain't nothing a daddy would not do for his daughter." And him and my dad, I say, they must have been sitting there having daddy-daughter conversations while I was gone. But that is what he wanted to share with me, is how daddies actually feel about daughters. So please write down any feedback if you've experienced any of these things, your knowledge on some of these things. Type your comments in down below. Us daughters, we want to hear from you fathers. We want to hear what you have to say to us so we can be connected with our fathers and daughters, with our daddies. And one more thing I want to share, why I'm doing this, what inspired me to do this series on daddy daughters, is when I nursed my father in the hospital and he passed. You know, I had so many men coming to me with questions. Another firefighter, Gene Campbell, another firefighter in Las Vegas, Nevada. He also was a firefighter in Dallas, Texas for a while, and I'm back and forth from Dallas and Vegas as well. But, you know, he came to see my father, and all he could do was hug me. He just hugged me so tight. And he said, "Strong woman. Strong woman. You a strong woman." And again, I don't know if him and my dad was talking before I walked into the hospital room, but he had to let me know that because he watched how I cared for my father. He watched my father transform the moment I hit that hospital. He watched my father become more alert. He watched my father put on a little bit more weight. He watched my father begin to eat a little more. You know why? Because his daughter showed up. Love, the one he raised and taught. I know what makes my daddy feel better when he's sick. I know what makes my daddy feel worse in his spirit and his soul. I know what my daddy eat, what he won't eat. I know what people my daddy trusts and what kind of people he don't want visiting him in the hospital. I know all of that. Daddies and daughters. I had men coming to me asking me, what kind of relationship did you have with your father? Like, how did he raise you that made you take care of him the way you did? Because I want my daughter to be that way with me. I had people asking me asset questions. When did your dad buy that property? Well, when did he sell it? Well, what did he sell it for? Well, because I was his neighbor and I was thinking about selling mine. But, well, what did he, so my dad was a very inspirational, manly man. But I had so many men asking me questions. I couldn't even see it myself. I knew my dad was inspirational, but I just see daddy. I didn't see people looking at him, well, how are you raising your kids? Your kids do all these things. I want to know that too. I never looked at that aspect of it. So after my dad passed, so many things came out. I decided to give back this video. So for all the firefighters and all the men who wanted to know the answers to these questions, keep watching these videos and you'll get all of those answers. That's why I'm unshakable. I was raised by a manly man. So keep up to the next video. Love you guys. Love you, Dad. Love you, Granddad. Hey, bro. Love you, Unc. And until next time here on Help Me Out, y'all keep doing the work and work on those daddy-daughter relationships.